Good morning readers. I, Harish Budhu, warmly welcome you to my channel. Learn as much as possible from my handwritten articles. This 13th November 2020 opinion paper. Happy Diwali. Bullying, ragging, intimidating, riding roughshod, terrorizing, inculcating inferiority complex into people, especially newcomers, have all now become a disease in our society. It is Friday today. It is highly significant because of two main reasons. Tomorrow is Diwali plus it is our rest day. Anyway, a warm welcome to today's opinion paper. We will deal with two key issues. Usual caution should be borne in mind whilst reading. Have a great weekend. Happy Diwali. Take care. B. Students column. 1. We had highlighted 25 English phrases for your attention yesterday. The best way of improving your English is to write as many phrases as possible every day. Which I am still doing, at this advanced stage. 2. What about the British Broadcasting Corporation expressions we often reproduce? This is what we do. We write them down in our diary, whilst listening to the news. And that too, whilst we are doing some other activities, meditating, reading the morning newspapers, having tea or coffee, etc. 3. Consider but 11 of this morning news. Deep concerns about the humanitarian situation, that is already on the blacklist, has evidence of a civilian massacre, the same character in real life too, which may be impossible to save face. We can assure you security and integrity of the American elections undermines Trump's legal claims. Elections were the most secure in American history. That is a dangerous path. He is morally unfit to serve the nation. What will be Trump's legacy when it comes to America's global role? 4. Little wonder that the exercise of listening to the British Broadcasting Corporation and writing down as many phrases as you can remember serves many purposes. You polish up your language plus you train the mind to remember things plus you learn about life and world affairs plus you discover yourself, etc. The method is tried and tested. Try it. See, many of our Facebook and YouTube friends should be victim of born sadists in their lives or workplaces. 1. These points of view are but a follow-up to those of yesterday. Let me hasten to add that they were so emotional or sentimental that some were moved to tears. I witnessed two this morning. Notwithstanding, we did not tell you every detail of the sadistic attacks on my person. Even then, why did we turn the clock back to revive those decades-old traumatic memories of our life? Well, that was after listening to the trials and tribulations, woes and worries of a young officer. 2. By experience, I knew that he is not alone to suffer at the hands of his head of department or those of his colleagues. And that especially if he is a newcomer, and is more qualified, talented and work ethic oriented, but comes from a disadvantaged family background or is physically not as good as others, though through no fault of his own. 3. Which all prompted me to write my own story, to encourage all the victims of the society. That, through my own first-hand bitter experiences, though it pains terribly to even think of them, but charity begins at home. 4. That bullying, ragging, intimidating, riding roughshod, terrorizing and whatnot culture is ingrained in our society. It is a common disease. I suffered from it as a laborer, a teacher, a politician, a citizen. Many of you have surely been subjected to such awful abuse, ordeal or harassment. I was thrown in police cells some 8 times in my life. I had witnessed how young officers were persecuted and tyrannized at the hands of some high officials. 5. All told, here is my advice to all the victims. Never accept such intimidation. Never tolerate the oppressors and the sadists. Stop them. Report them. You are not born to be abused and looked down upon. Be bold. Summon up your courage. Have guts. But at the same time, work even harder to succeed. To do better than anybody else. 6. My first traumatic experiences of terror and inferiority complex syndrome in the Labour Party was soon after the December 1976 general election. I was elected from revered as Anka's constituencies. Among the 25 Labour Party members of the Legislative Assembly, I was the poorest of the lot. I never wore suits and ties. I never went to cocktail parties. True, they were my forte. But in the eyes of the old guard clinging to Sir Siwuzagaramkulam, the then Prime Minister, I was an out-and-out outsider, outcast or outcast. 7. We will not name my oppressors. Historians will identify them. Those were times when the general election was allowed but not the by-election. The state of emergency had lasted for some 6 years. So any members of the Legislative Assembly who resigned his seat would have been replaced by a best loser of the same community. It was open season. It was market-driven. Sales and marketing. Auction sale. Open sesame. Bargaining hunters galore. 8. And I was the easy target. First, the gang tried to inculcate a sense of inferiority complex into me, that I could not be a politician. That I had no qualifications. That I could not be able to address the parliament. Then came the money lure. I had never seen so much money stacked up in my life. When I refused, I was tracked and hounded, like an animal. Some of my close relatives and friends made my life as miserable as sin. I refused Sir Siwuzagaramkulam's security. Keep reading, keep learning. Like and subscribe for more thrilling articles. Thank you for watching.